Hi, this is Gary Owens with Ringo's Star, coming to you live by satellite. And if you want to join in, it's very easy. Our special toll-free number is 1-800-423-TALK. If you're calling from inside California, dial 1-800-262-TALK. All right, Ringo is all set. He's poised over the phone, his lips akimbo right now as we take another call. We're going to Susie in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I think I've described it correctly. There we go.
That's right.
Hi, Susie.
Hi, how are you?
Just fine.
I shouldn't have asked that. Everybody's asked that.
Well, yes, and I keep answering.
Yeah, well, I hope you're still fine. I was wondering, how do you feel about all these Beatle conventions that are going on around the States? Do you mind those at all? Or how do you feel about them?
Well, the problem with the Beatle Convention, or the Beatlefest, was it started as a charity, and we did endorse it when it was a charity, but then it turned into something completely different, so we're not really involved anymore.
Uh-huh. But it doesn't, does it matter to you? I mean, I've heard stories that it was like, that you didn't really like it.
Well, I think the only problem with it's not really memorabilia they're selling. You know, it's all made in Taiwan last week.
That's true.
So, but, you know, if you want to go out there and buy some of it, that's up
right.
to you.
We have a good time, so.
Well, that's what's important, you know.
That's right.
You know,
okay.
a whole crowd of you get together and have a laugh.
That's right, and that's what we do. Well, thanks.
Okay,
all right.
Bye.
Susie,
Bye-bye.
Thank you, dear. We're here with Ringo, and let's go right now all the way to Cape Cod, which is probably very beautiful this time of year because James is on the phone there talking to Ringo. James?
Hello?
Yeah, hi, James.
Oh, hi, Ringo. How's it going?
Oh, it's going fine.
Well, I'm listening to you on WNBC in New York. I just had a couple of questions. Well, first, that song all those years ago by George Harrison, I'd heard that other Beatles had played instruments and sang. Well, what I want to know is who played what and who sang what.
And all those years ago.
Mm-hmm. Or any other Beatles song. I mean, George Harrison song to put out dedicated to John.
Yeah, I think I'm on drums. And actually, that song was written for me for when we did the Roses album. And it had completely different words. And we did 3 tracks, and it was one of them that we, at that time, felt wasn't working for the album. So then George wrote all new words and put it out as we know it today.
Oh.
And Paul's singing on it because he just happened to pop in and visit him one day.
Oh,
it wasn't planned, you know, like, let's do this.
But so all 3 of you did end up playing on it, huh?
Yeah.
And I got another question. Well, what kind of celebrations are being planned for the 20th, maybe in Liverpool, and the 25th anniversary of the Beatles? Because I figure in Liverpool there must be a huge bash. I mean, 25 years after the Beatles. Do you know anything about it?
No, I don't know too much about it anymore. They're going to give us the keys to the city, but that's only in the newspapers. We haven't been officially notified yet, and we don't know if they do give us them when they want us to pick them up.
There's also a talk of putting a Beatle museum about. The radio station Beatles City is going to put a museum out, and it's supposed to be ready for next year.
I didn't know that either, see. I'm moving around so much.
That'll be in Liverpool, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And do you know when your next album is coming out? I think somebody already asked you that before.
Yeah, well, no, as we said, it's out in Canada, Germany, and Tibet, but as Doug informs us, you can get it here as an import.
And if you can't, I guess you could ask your record store to order it for you.
Yes, why doesn't everybody who's listening write to their local store and record company and say, where is it?
Good.
Label is on.
Get me on the charts, man.
Do you know what label?
What label is it on?
It's not on any label.
It's in Canada. It's on RCA, right?
RCA in Canada.
All right.
James, thank you from Cape Cod.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
James.
It's time for another phone call. Before we get to that, he was talking about what instruments you guys played. When you did...
I played drums.
I know that. Oh, I know. I saw you practicing here on Doug's head a few moments ago. When you practiced playing... probably bedpans in the hospital, didn't you? When you were a kid, isn't that how you started playing drums?
That's the story. I started playing on the night table next to my bed.
Yeah.
And then once a week, because I was in there for a year, to keep you entertained, besides knitting and painting, they used to bring instruments in. And these big sheets, you know, with yellow dots was the triangle, green dots was, you know, the flute, and red dots was the drum. and I wouldn't play in the band unless they gave me a drum.
That's wonderful. Great experience.
It's real wonderful,
Great.
Gary.
Give me an idea of how exciting my life is, Ringo, if I thought that was really wonderful. Let's go to Huntington, Pennsylvania right now. Mark is standing by. He has a big question for Ringo. Mark?
Ringo,
Yeah, hi, Mark.
we love you here, Ringo.
Thank you.
When are we going to be able to see you here in Philadelphia?
Not too soon.
Not too soon?
No great plans right now to go to Philadelphia, though it's a wonderful city.
Will you ever be touring again?
No. Well, there's no plans. I mean, I don't have a band, and I have no real great desire right now to go on the road.
Can a friend of mine ask you a question?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ring, this is Jake.
Hi, Jake.
Hi. I was wondering what your reaction is to all the books coming out of the Beatles now. If these people really know anything or they're just making things up.
Well, they know things and they make things up, you know. I don't actually read any of it myself because I was there and I have my memories.
Yeah, you think you'll ever write a book?
No.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Great.
Okay, both of you fellas, we appreciate it very much as we switch our controls again to this giant master control. We've got calls from all over the world coming in here. How about Monroe, Louisiana on our giant map? You ever been to Monroe, Louisiana, Ringo?
No, I haven't, Gary. Have you?
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact. I used to work in New Orleans, and I visited Monroe. It's a beautiful place. All right, line 12 as we pop in right now. That would be Tracy standing by. Tracy?
Hi.
Hi, Tracy.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you, too.
I was going to ask you if you've ever had any formal music education, and also, have you ever been asked to do any percussion clinics?
I've been asked to do clinics, which I won't do because, I never play solos or anything, and I had no formal training. When I started in the band, if you had the instrument, you got in the group.
Okay.
That was the only request. How do you say that word, Gary?
Prerequisite.
Oh,
Prerequisite,
yeah.
there you go.
A former
It's a
requisite.
little early in the morning here.
Yes, it is. We all just got up a few moments ago, Tracy, so you'll
Well,
have to...
some of us got up. Gary is still laying here in his pajamas, but that's okay.
I have the feet in them right now, so it's kind of attractive. Well, thank you, dear Tracy, very much. Bye-bye. Okay, let's switch our controls to Portage, Indiana. David is standing by. I think he's got a question about Pete Best and Ringo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Dave.
Hi, Ringo. Did you ever meet Pete Best?
Yeah, I met Pete Best a lot of times in the early 60s, late 50s, while he was in the Beatles, and I was with Rory Storm, and we were on the same bill a lot of times.
Where, in Hamburg?
Well, in Hamburg and Liverpool.
Well, how did you feel about taking his place?
Fabulous.
Really? Okay. Do you still have a contract or something? Because every year you have a new album coming out.
Well, you must have just tuned in. We had an album that came out this year, but it didn't come out in America. But you can get it as an import, Doug.
No, I mean, like the Beatles, you had like rarities, and then you had real music, and now you got 20 greatest hits.
Oh, yeah, but we have no control of that. That's the record company. They decide to put, like golden oldies or, fabulous B-sides together, and they put it out. We have really no control over that.
Okay.
David, thank you very much for calling. Ringo, when you were playing with Rory Storm,
Yeah.
I guess at that time when Pete Best, you took over for Pete Best, you were mentioning on Yellow Submarine in one of the episodes here preceding this, how George would come out and you would come out, and there were big signs that the fans had, like, Ringo, yes, Pete Best, no.
Yeah, they used to be chanting, Ringo never, Pete forever.
Yes.
And on the other side, they'd be saying, Ringo forever, Pete never.
And
it was I played a couple of times just sitting in when Pete couldn't make it, and that was fine. But when I finally joined the band, the fans were pretty well divided in Liverpool.
of course. Well, at that time, I believe George accidentally got a black eye out of that in one of the episodes.
It wasn't really an accident.
Oh.
Some guy grabbed him by the throat and said, "We hate you," and punched him out.
All right, let's go. Let's go back to California right now. Dave is standing by, and he wants to ask Ringo a question. Dave?
Yeah, Ringo, it's nice to talk with you.
Yeah, hi, Dave.
I know it was certainly a terrible loss for the world, and of course the Beatles also. When John died, I'm just wondering, are you more fearful, or the rest of the Beatles more fearful for their lives now? Are you taking special precautions now?
Not anymore. We did immediately after the fact. because everyone got freaked out, and then there was a lot of madness going down. So we did get protection, but I think that's all cooled down now. I personally don't have anyone looking after me besides Barbara, who's bigger than both of us.
Barbara is beautiful and very tough, let me tell you that.
One other question, Ringo. When you were with the Beatles, when the Beatles were together,
yeah,
it must have really been fascinating and interesting at first, but did it become too businesslike? Did it become too run-of-the-mill at the end?
No. The thing is, none of us were businessmen. We were musicians. And all we wanted to do was play. And as you know, we played live for so many years, and then we decided to go into a studio to make records, because then we could spend, up to 6 months sometimes on an album, and that was purely just so we could get into the music and the record.
Well, Dave, thank you. Ringo, excuse me just a second. We'll be right back in a moment. Ringo will be here to take more of your phone calls as we continue with Ringo's Yellow Submarine.